One of the funniest parts about my job is when I upload a video and literally 2 minutes later, we get breaking news on a pretty big trade that is going down in the NBA. Now, I don't want to say that this is directly a big trade. It's more a big trade because of what's to come as a result of it. So we're going to break down everything for you guys, man. Before we get to the content, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. If you think I talk way too much on this channel, well, we condensed this content into 1-minute shorts on my Instagram page, and we are restarting my TikTok page from the ground up because before we were doing some football content mixed in with the basketball content. So make sure you give us a follow on TikTok at TheFlightMike. Now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? If you're a New York Knicks fan, you probably feel some type of way about your offseason so far. After what happened during the NBA draft, where the New York Knicks traded the 11th pick to the OKC Thunder. The OKC Thunder traded 3 first-round picks to the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks then traded the 23rd pick that the OKC Thunder gave to them and 4 second-round picks to Charlotte for the 13th pick. Now, what drives people crazy is the Knicks then traded this pick in Kemba Walker to Detroit for the Milwaukee Bucks 2025 first round pick, which has a top 4 protection on it that I absolutely ethered the Detroit Pistons for obtaining in the Jeremy Grant trade. Yes, Detroit Pistons fans, I've been reading your comments. How was I supposed to know that the New York Knicks were going to practically gift you Jalen Duren as a result of this trade? I didn't think they would do it. More power to you, because the Jeremy Grant trade is now looking really freaking good for the Detroit Pistons. As a matter of fact, the Detroit Pistons are crushing this offseason. I'm going to be honest with you guys. So the Knicks essentially traded the 11th pick, Kemba Walker, first, second round picks, and got 3 future first round picks. The reason why this is so frustrating is because the protections that the Knicks are getting on these picks aren't the greatest. The 2023 first round pick from Detroit is 1 to 18 protected through 2024, 1 to 13 protected in 2025, 1 to 11 protected in 2026, and 1 to 9 protected in 2027. If that doesn't convey, by 2027, it becomes Detroit's second round pick. Now, the first from Washington is 1 to 14 protected in 2023, 1 to 12 in 2024, 1 through 10 in 2025, and 1 through 8 in 2026. If that doesn't convey, then it becomes the Washington Wizards 2026 and 2027 second round pick. Now, the Denver pick is protected 1 through 14 through 2025. If it doesn't convey by then it becomes Denver's 2025 second round pick. So as a result of this, a lot of Knicks fans are frustrated. Now, look, I know that the New York Knicks have gone through a lot of dysfunction in their front office and their roster over the past decade. There's been some good years, and then there was even more dysfunction. I totally understand. And the reason I'm saying this is things were so bad that the New York Knicks president of basketball operations, Leon Rose, had to put out a statement defending his actions, saying, "Last night we made 3 trades involving draft picks, which resulted in increased financial flexibility and additional draft capital moving forward. We now have a total of 22 picks, 11 in the first round and 11 in the second round over the next 7 years. We have the ability to be active in free agency as well as in the trade market. Our focus will remain to be strategic and thoughtful in our team building, doing it the right way while feeding off of the momentum from the end of last season and prioritizing our player development program. Thank you to Knicks fans for your continued support, Leon Rose." Now look, the very basic defense that I'm going to give for the New York Knicks is, with all due respect, man, you guys have more than enough young talent. I mean, between Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett, and then you have Mitchell Robinson, you got Obi Toppin, you got Cam Reddish, and that's just all off the top of my head. I think you guys have more than enough young talent to develop a little bit. So I understand kicking the can a little bit down the road and potentially hoping for those draft picks to become helpful in the future, especially if maybe you want to pull off a trade in the future, but that's just me being really, really optimistic. The reason I'm bringing all this up is because once again, the New York Knicks are making another trade. And once again, the Detroit Pistons are involved. According to Adrian Wojnarowski, the New York Knicks are trading center Nerlens Noel and guard Alec Burks to the Pistons, sources tell ESPN. This will result in the New York Knicks unloading $19 million more in salary, clearing the way for cap space to try and sign free agent guard Jalen Brunson. You might be saying, whoa, Mike, where'd Jalen Brunson come from? Bro, this has been the worst kept secret in the entire NBA. It's just like Woj is just sitting there saying, I know that the Knicks are going to get Jalen Brunson, because that's all we've been getting so far this offseason. It seems like a foregone conclusion. I mean, like, I'm going to put this at the tier of Lonzo Ball going to the Chicago Bulls the minute that free agency goes down. I'm so confident in this that maybe once this video is done, I'll go pre-record my video on the Knicks signing Jalen Brunson. And I never freaking do that. I mean, you have this article from Tim McMahon 3 hours ago that there's an ESPN story on the Knicks emerging as the strong favorites to sign Mavs free agent guard Jalen Brunson. And I'm gonna be honest, there is a part of me, and maybe Knicks fans, you could help me out here. A part of me is kind of wondering why there's an obsession with Jalen Brunson. I mean, he's a great player, don't get me wrong, but like, I don't think it's necessarily worth like trading your lottery draft pick and dumping all of this salary and, you know, trying to get future first round picks and driving your fan base crazy just so you could sign Jalen Brunson to a crazy large deal. Now, this is just what I'm thinking. I don't know the amount of money that the Knicks plan on giving Jalen Brunson, but let's continue because Woj is not finished yet. The Knicks are including 2 future second-round picks and cash in the deal to incentivize the Pistons, sources tell ESPN. New York will send Detroit back its 2023 second-round pick and a 2024 second-round pick via Miami and $6 million, sources tell ESPN. The Knicks have now cleared $30 million in cap space to offer Dallas's Jalen Brunson in the neighborhood of a max contract. The unloading of assets and contracts clearly show the Knicks' confidence that they can secure Brunson once free agency opens on Thursday. Meanwhile, Detroit is eager to utilize center Nerlens Noel and guards Alec Burks next season. GM Troy Weaver had Noel on his team in OKC, and Burks is an ideal veteran to mentor the Pistons' talented young group of guards. I mean, I'm not knocking the Pistons for this move, man. I think the Pistons have been having a pretty awesome offseason. I mean, at face value, the Jeremy Grant trade, I was a little confused at first. Then when I saw what they did with the 2025 pick that was given to them from the Portland Trail Blazers, I was absolutely shocked. This team crushed the NBA draft. I'm very excited for their future. They have a nice little group of young talent that is very excited to be on the Detroit Pistons. So if you're a Detroit Pistons fan, and I'm looking at you, Crispy Flakes, then you have a lot of reasons to be excited for this core moving forward. As for the New York Knicks, I'm a little confused about this obsession with Jalen Brunson. So, and this is just me being honest with you guys, if you want to go into the comment section and educate me a little bit, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way towards Jalen Brunson at all whatsoever, because throughout his career, he's had a very impressive career so far. And don't get me wrong, every single year, he's been improving year after year with the Dallas Mavericks. Now, there is a report from Chris B. Haynes, who has not ever missed when it's come to a report recently, and it discusses the fact that he's talked to people in Jalen Brunson's circle who thinks that he has another level to reach that he just couldn't reach with Dallas because he played with the most ball dominant player in the league. And I could understand that, but at the same time, the fact that you're offering a player who, don't get me wrong, is improving year after year, who averaged 16 points per game over the past season off of 37% shooting from 3, which is still pretty freaking good. And he's 1 year removed from shooting 41% from 3. And those are just his basic statistics. But I'm more of an advanced stats type of guy. And don't get me wrong, year after year, once again, Jalen Brunson's been improving. But he's had a 0.90 BPM, a 0 DBPM. His value over replacement players at 1.9, which is very, very promising for his future. But for you to tell me that he is deserving of you trading a bunch of players, trading a lottery pick, and moving all these pieces around just so you could offer him a near max contract is a little weird to me. Is it because Rick Brunson, his dad, is an assistant coach for the New York Knicks? Is there something that I personally am just not seeing? Because don't get me wrong, I hope he develops into a star. But at the same time, in the past, I've seen players in a very similar situation. If you want to take For example, Chandler Parsons once he left the Houston Rockets to sign with the Dallas Mavericks. Now, of course, I don't think that's really fair because he got injured and you can't really predict those things. But what about Lance Stevenson, who left the Indiana Pacers after his first stint, after breaking out and blowing air into LeBron James's ears to sign with the Charlotte Hornets? That didn't end up so well. Now, I hope what happens to Jalen Brunson's different, but I'm not necessarily the type of guy that believes in moving all of your players around so you could pay a player that is showing steady improvement year after year. Don't get me wrong, but still offering that type of player near max contract type of money, I don't know. It's kind of not necessarily my style, but I hope it works out. It's just my personal prediction. If you're a Knicks fan, I want to get your take in the comment section down below. How do you feel about this? I mean, your team is making a lot of aggressive moves, trading your lottery picks, trading some role players in order to sign Jalen Brunson, which is the worst kept secret in the league at this point, to the point where Woj is literally saying it in his trade announcement. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.